everybody, welcome to Fragrance Explorer. My name is Robert and today we're taking a look at Versace's Eros Flame. So let's get started. Eros Flame is a spicy, woody fragrance that was introduced in 2018 by the House of Versace and perfumer Olivier Pouchot. Let's take a look at the note breakdown. In the top we have Chinotto, lemon, mandarin orange, black pepper, and rosemary. In the mid, we have rose, geranium, and pepperwood. And in the base, we have cedar, patchouli, tonka bean, vanilla, sandalwood, and oakmoss. So Eros Flame really is a fragrance that is characterized in contrast. And it opens with this nice bright orange, lemony, citrus opening that has a peppery contrast. Like the black pepper and kind of a minty camphor is right up against that bright orange citrusy smell in the opening. So you do get kind of a pepper pitted against the citrus smell. In the mid, we've got some more contrast going on in the fact that as those kind of more volatile compounds kind of burn off, you get into the mid, and that mid has got it's got a powdery and woody, and it's got geranium and rose, and so you kind of get a floral note that's a bit powdery, but it's also kind of got a little bit of wood. And then that's contrasted against this, it's a fragrance ingredient, so it's actually it's a synthetic, but it's a trademark synthetic from Gavaudan that's called Pepperwood. And so the mid, you also get a contrast in the sense that you get a floral note contrasted against kind of a biting hot note in the mid. And then in the base, you also get some more contrast going on, and that you've got two woods that are pitted against one another. You've got the cedar, which is kind of a warm, a very warm type wood. If you've ever smelled fresh cut firewood, it's kind of got that warm, reminiscent of fire kind of wood. And then it's also got sandalwood paired up with that as the contrast. And sandalwood's kind of got a smooth, creamy presence to it. So you got the two notes that are contrasted against one another, and then you've got two more notes that are contrasted against one another, and that you've got kind of a sweet, musky, earthy patchouli contrasted against kind of a more inky, bitter oak moss. So you get a two-note pair there that's kind of contrasted against one another. And then on the sweet end of things in the base, you get a vanilla that's nice, sweet, smooth vanilla smell that's paired up against more of the bittersweet almond in the tonka bean. So you get all these nice notes playing off one another in all these contrasts, and you'd think it'd kind of be a mess, but it kind of works. It's really a very alluring fragrance, and you get it's very much a compliment getter. So let's talk a little bit about the presentation. The presentation is a nice heavy glass flask, very similar to the original presentation of original Eros, except that you just change out all the blue-green hues that were in the original Eros for this nice bright kind of red bottle. So you get the Greek key field framing the Medusa head. You get a nice heavy kind of stopper, metallic stopper that's got the Medusa head on the top. It has a nice positive retention click, so it goes on, you know that it's on and in place. I still wouldn't lift this by the cap because even though it's got a nice positive retention click, it's secure, but I don't trust it to lift the bottle. The atomizer is very, very good. You get a lot of control. It's a nice fine mist. Performance on Eros Flame is very good. It's going to last 7 to 8 hours. I wore it several times to work throughout the winter months while it was cooler, because it is, I consider it not a great work fragrance, but I wanted to try it out. And also because it's kind of heavy with the pepper notes in the opening and the pepper notes in the mid, so it's got some spice in there, and then it's got the woody base. I do feel like this is more of a cool weather fragrance, although it's wearable any time. But in wearing it, I noticed that the performance, it does get good performance. About 7 to 8 hours. Sillage is fairly strong. It can fill a room if you put it on too heavily. So be careful with spritzing it on. You don't want to overdo it unless you really want to stand out. If you want to go clubbing and you want to wear this to where you really want to make a impression and really stand out, if you go several spritzes, 4 or 5 spritzes on this, you're really going to stand out. So it's a strong performer, but be careful with that. It is a sexy, provocative fragrance. Now, personally, I find it more fitting for a date night fragrance. My wife really loves this fragrance. Whenever I put it on, she's like, oh, that's my favorite fragrance. And so my wife really, really likes this. I know that women tend to compliment when I do wear this fragrance. So it is a compliment getter, but it does have strong projection, and with those spicy pepper notes, like I said, it's probably better suited to cooler weather or evening wear. I don't really think it's a great office fragrance, but you might be able to pull it off. I mean, I wore it several times to the office. I think it's a little too strong for an office environment, but I was just kind of trying the fragrance out to feel out how it performs and what the longevity is, and so doing so, I kind of am forced to wear it to work. So final thoughts on this fragrance. I really like it. It works really, really well on my skin. My wife really likes this fragrance. I get a lot of unsolicited compliments whenever I wear it. That being said, even though this one works really, really well for me, I think with all the contrasts that are in this fragrance, with the types of contrasts and the fact that it's got some biting notes that are in there. Those pepper notes contrasted against the citrus notes, and then the stuff that's going on in the base with all the contrasts. I think this is going to be a really polarizing fragrance. People are either going to love it or hate it. And as such, I think you really need to get out and smell it yourself before you invest in this fragrance. I don't think it's a safe blind buy. I think you need to get to a retail store and actually smell it on your skin before you make an investment in this fragrance, because I'd hate for you to buy it and not be happy with it. It is running right now. You can get a fairly decent discount at discounters for a 100 milliliter 3.4 fluid ounce bottle. You can get this right around $75 at discounters online. For this same size bottle, full retail at Sephora, Dillard's, I think it's running right around $100. So get out there, try to get a sample, try to smell it at a retail store before you invest in it. If you like it, I think you're going to like it a lot. If it is polarizing for you and you don't like it, I think you're really going to hate it. So I don't think there's a lot of middle ground for people in this fragrance, but I like it a lot. So thanks for joining this week. I really do appreciate you guys watching, and my goal is to try to get a review of Bulgari's Aqua Amara. I did order that as a recommendation. One of our viewers wrote in and commented that they'd like a review on that one, and so I did purchase that, and I have it. I wore it a couple of times, but I'd like to wear it a couple more times this week and collect my thoughts on it before I actually do a review on it, but I hope to have that out next week. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope that they're helpful for you and that you'll come back and visit us next week. Thanks a lot.